excited to talk about. Oh, there we go. Oh, hold on. Zoom's weird. It's a new Zoom thing, which I always laugh. Continue. It makes everyone approve it, which makes me crack up because rules are made because someone broke something or did something. So I want to know, I'm like, I want to know the story behind Zoom on why they had to add that feature, because I'm sure there's some comedy along with it. Somebody got something recorded they didn't want. Okay, so I'm actually really excited to talk this topic with you because, as Paige said, I've done this business for a while, but I didn't come into this business for the business. And I was a teacher. So, running a business and caring about sales and caring about numbers wasn't my reason for joining Beachbody. I joined Beachbody for the transformation, for the accountability towards my own health. I started with Beachbody because I was unhealthy. And when I made that decision to leave teaching and to make this my full-time job, I had this gut check of, Lauren, you just left your full-time, stable, cozy, comfortable income. You better learn how to grow your income. You better learn how to understand how you make money in this business. And so throughout from the moment of making the decision that I was leaving teaching, and throughout that whole summer, because I had a summer until I was going to get my last teaching paycheck, I went all in on just making sure that I understood what it meant, that I understood where I had the control. And so with Beachbody, we all know, you hear everyone say, we have two ways of earning income. The first way is you earn through commissions, and you guys all know anything we sell, if it's something that ships to a person's doorstep, we get 25% commission. If it's a subscription that's digital, we get 40% commission. Like, that's what we do no matter what. But volume doesn't come into play until you actually make the decision that you're going to build this as a business. Volume is when you get to hold on to control. When you start earning volume is when you make the decision that this is going to be something that you can strategize and you can take control of. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, can I, Paige?
I'll make it where you can.
Okay. Now with this, I'm going to, share a couple bits and pieces, but I also want this to be a space where, I want you guys to ask questions. I want you drop in the chat if I say something, if I talk too fast, drop it in the chat, because I will pause and I want to answer it, because this call, it's going to be pointless if it's just me rambling on about numbers and it goes over your head. Use this as a space to learn and really dig in, almost like a workshop style, because that's the only way we learn. We learn through the process of seeing how it relates to us. So let me share my screen. Okay. Maybe, there we go. Okay, so volume. Now, one thing that I think is really important is that you understand that not all of our business centers, every single one of us on this call, our back offices look totally different. Our volume looks totally different. Not all business centers are built the same, but I don't want that to ever defeat you. I want that to inspire you to go and dig in and see how yours works. Because with business centers, it's really, the way our back office works and the way coaches sign up, it's like this tricky game of chess that, when Paige brought you guys all on here, or if you are a grandbaby of Paige's or even a great grandbaby of Paige's, Paige put that coach that signed up on either her right leg or her left leg. We have this tree. It's no different than a family tree. And you end up on one of those legs. And that leg ends up being what is your quote unquote strong leg. And with that, we can't predict the future of how well we're going to do as a coach, how well Paige is going to do as building a team, and how well the coaches that are going to sign up and join you, how well they're going to do. We aren't mind readers. We can't see into the foreseeable future. If we could, that'd be awesome, because our business centers would be built to perfection, but we can't. And so what happens is business centers change along the way. I am a true representation of that. I joined Beachbody with a former coworker and really good friend. And she thought she wanted to build a business with Beachbody for about a year. And after that year was up, when she joined, during that year, she had joined a really active business building coach too. And that big active business building coach was under another really active business building coach. And that coach was under a really active business building coach who you may have heard the name Lindsay Matway. So when I signed on as a coach, I had 4 really hardworking coaches that really wanted to build something big with this business. Well, as time went on, life changes happen. And my coach decided she no longer wanted to build this business, and she stopped. Her coach stopped. And way before either of them stopped, their coach above them stopped. And so what happened was that changes businesses. When I joined my coach, I was under a leg. I was under her strong leg. So my right leg started to produce income from her as she started to build her team. And then when she quit, my right leg that was once strong was given the word, it died. It died. And so it's called a dead leg. When your upline coach stops working, your leg that was formerly strong ultimately dies. And that might sound really scary, but it's not. Whenever your business center has a space where one of those legs, quote unquote, dies, that doesn't mean it no longer produces income. It means that instead of getting support from above, you now have control of all of it. So when you look at your business center, when you look at your volume and your numbers, just know if you have one leg, and I'm going to show you some examples in a minute, but if you have one leg that has really, really big numbers and you're not really sure why, that's your strong leg. And it means you're getting volume support from the team underneath you and above you. And then if you have a leg that seems fairly, like both of your legs seem fairly equivalent, that means you're in a space where you're probably in control of both of your legs. So again, let that inspire you to go dig in, because you're going to have 3 scenarios. Your legs are either you're going to have a really strong leg and a weak leg, which is normal, or you're going to have, and one could be on the left and one could be on the right, and they might be swapped, or you might have pretty even legs. So those are your 3 scenarios. When you get off this call, I want you to kind of go look at your volume in your back office. If you just look at the dashboard and you pull up those numbers where it says carryover volume, take a picture of that. Send it to Paige or send it to me. I don't care. And we can dig in, and that's going to really kind of tell the story of what your volume looks like, because you want to know what it looks like. That way you can take control of how to make sure that volume, AKA money, is not just sitting there and you can actually cash it out. So the first thing you are going to want to know the difference of is PV versus TV. So if you don't know the difference of it, we're going to chat about it right now, but I want you to get really comfortable with these two kind of, what is this called? Is that like an acronym? I think it's an acronym. God, I've been out of class. Like is that called an acronym? When they're 2 like numbers. Okay, so let me just dig into it. So PV is personal volume. Okay, this is where I think people get confused with the volume idea, is knowing the difference between PV and TV. PV is your personal volume. It is generated from what you buy and what you sell to a customer, not a discount. I know sometimes when we sign up discount coaches, we think of them as customers, but financially and volume-wise, they are not. They are not a customer. They are a coach. So you do not get volume from them. when you're referring to PV, personal volume. You get volume from them, but that's going to be the next part. PV is what's used to calculate your active status for you or eventually your preferred customers. This is why I want you to know these two letters really well in the next upcoming months. Get comfortable with using these two terms, because when we start the preferred customer program at the end of summer, they're going to be adding another one that's called EV. So it's going to be easier for you to understand if you already know what these two terms mean. And then when EV is added, you can just learn that one when it's added. But PV contributes is what you are in control of and what you need to make sure that you're hitting a certain number for your qualifications for rank, bonuses, and sometimes in rewards. So bonuses or rewards as in like Success Club, you need to make sure that you understand what your PV is. For your bonuses, if you're getting like quarterly bonuses, like Star Diamond bonuses, your PV needs to be at a certain amount. For holding a rank, whether it's Diamond, Star Diamond, Emerald, those each have their own certain qualification of a PV number that you need to make sure of, that you know for that. But PV is from what you buy and what you sell to a customer. The next one is TV, team volume. This is only something you can earn income from if you are an Emerald or above. And to be an Emerald, I just kind of put this little disclaimer. To be an Emerald means, that doesn't mean a lifetime Emerald. To be a paid Emerald and earn team volume bonuses, you have to be an active Emerald, which means at a minimum, you need to have 50 PV, which is, what we talked about here, what you sell or buy. And 2 coaches under you also need to have 50 PV too. Now, one thing I want to kind of put in here too, you do not earn PV by signing up a discount coach. So even if you sell, or even if you sign up a new discount coach and in your eyes they're a customer, that automatically generates TV, not PV. So if you sign up someone and they are a discount coach, you just need to make sure you keep an eye on your PV for your own like rank and bonus there's for that sake. So TV is what's used to calculate your team cycle bonuses. And with that, again, you don't earn team cycle bonuses until you are an active Emerald. And with team volume, while at first in your business, it might not be something that you actually see that fruition, it kind of come to life until later on. Beachbody doesn't, they protect our businesses, because volume that you earn throughout the time while you're building and growing and figuring things out, it goes into a space called carryover volume, which is like a savings account. So while you're trying to figure all this out, just know you can't really break it. It just goes into a savings account. But what you can get in control of is making sure you understand how to cash it out. So just to kind of disclaim, the only way to open up your team volume income is if you're an Emerald coach, meaning 2 coaches, 1 on each leg, with 50 PV or higher. All right, so hold on. I want to make this small screen so I can see you guys more. And then if I open the chat, okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing any questions. Okay, so with this, I've kind of broken down some of the basic products, because you guys are you're probably used to being told, order your Shakeology. If you want to hit Success Club, make sure you have 90 PV 90 PV on Home Direct so that you can lock in Success Club. I feel like that's kind of the thing I say the most and I hear the most. But what we might not realize is Beachbody, we sell things in dollar amounts, but Beachbody speaks in volume amounts. So every product that Beachbody sells has a number that correlates with it. When you're checking someone out or when you're building a share cart, you can even see how much the PV that product is. But what you don't see as often is every single product has a PV aligned to it, but it also has a TV number logged to it. we don't see that as much because that's only, you know, it really only works when we're an emerald or above. But if you sell a bag of Shakeology to, we'll say, a friend, you know, that you work with, that person is signed up as a customer. If you sell that bag of Shakeology to that friend or customer, you get 90 PV for it. But your team pot, your team downline, they get 90 points towards the whole team as a team volume. That goes the same with every other product. 3-day refresh, that's 45 TV points. The BOD, annual BOD, 38 TV points. So every product that we essentially sell, we get, if we've sold it, it goes into our PV pot. But as a team, every product that the whole team sells goes into the TV pot. And whatever level, or not level, whatever leg you're on, that goes into the pot for that leg. So I'm gonna hop on over to this one. Okay, so here's an example of an emerald coach, okay? An emerald coach that is making sales and has a team of coaches, most likely 2, if they're emerald, 2 or 3 coaches, that is also making sales too. So in that week of sales, the coaches on the left leg sold product and accumulated 469 team volume points, TV. The coaches on the right leg made, in that 1 week, they sold within products or subscriptions an accumulation of 1,528 TV points. So as a team, the team is rocking it. The team is doing well. These points come from all the number of sales that were made as a whole. And what happens is in that week, all those numbers kind of come down to what's here. Do you see where it says total team volume by leg? This is that savings account I was talking to. You can easily tell from looking here which leg is the strong leg of this coach. This coach is getting support. She has a working upline on her right leg. And the team, she also has, you know, a steady working downline, people, you know, that are working below her, but her upline is rocking it right now. And what happens is, remember I said Beachbody they never really hurt us. They let all that volume go into a space, what's called the into your carryover volume. So it's just like a carryover savings account. But within these numbers, this account was able to cash out 4 times. Now, I don't have a slide for this, but I should have made one. But for every, I'm gonna actually just add a quick text box for those of you that are visual. Okay, so for every 100 to 200 ratio, whether it's left or right, Beachbody gives you team cycle bonus. So anytime this number is a 100, adds to 100, so you can see there was 4. So that gave 4 times. If the numbers are a 400 by 200 ratio, Beachbody will then accumulate. So an emerald coach will pull $14 per team cycle bonus. A diamond coach will do $18. So star diamonds are also $18, but their cap is a little bit, or not a little bit, a lot higher. So with that, every time those numbers go from 400 to 200, it's cash out. 400 to 200, cash out. So with this one, this account was able to do it 4 times. So it cashed out with it cashed out to a $56. Does someone have a question? Oh, okay. Okay, so this one, now we're watching it grow. This is a Ruby coach. You can see this Ruby coach is coming from a team that has a huge downline and is producing tons and tons of volume. And this Ruby coach is working and in control of their right leg. So this Ruby coach is hustling and working 3,349 team volume points. That's awesome. That shows a really active building team. And what with that team is able to cash out a lot more times because her left leg is, I mean, in the millions, so, or a million. So they were able to cash out because they were an Emerald or a Ruby coach, cash out with $537.12, meaning their team cycle bonuses were able to pull 33 times. So you can see how quickly this adds up when everybody's doing the work, when everybody is, is showing up. And it doesn't mean that you just have, one rock star coach. So for those of you that might be having a downline where you're like, oh, like we've just got people who are, selling here and there, more like hobby style coaches versus like really building rank and things like that. This is a great, I feel like this is a great example of how when everyone's just working together, those numbers multiply so fast. And then I had another example. Here was another big one. This is more of, I would consider this, while these legs aren't even, this is still a very clear, the right leg is the stronger leg. This also shows that there are working building coaches on the left leg. When you have a team that is working and building, or when you have a coach that you sign up that is just, hitting Success Club 10 plus every month, or, building and hitting diamond and bringing on new people that are hitting emerald. And it's kind of this like duplication really fast, like the ripple in the water, you will start to see your numbers skyrocket. The times when you'll see your numbers kind of slow down is when you'll see, when your team, if you have coaches that are just, if you have a big series of discount coaches, you'll see those numbers kind of slow down. But the second you have a coach that, starts selling challenge packs or, signing up people with VOD, you'll start to see those numbers start to go up quickly. So that's kind of all that I have for like the examples of what the team cycle bonuses look like. But I want you to just, kind of like bring this back. Team cycle bonuses come from you and your team of coaches or customers getting people set up on their health journeys to be active and achieving their goals. Yes, the biggest way to do that is a challenge pack. The highest numbers of team site or of TV and PV match with challenge packs because it's giving, it's getting the biggest bang for your buck. But anytime a product is sold to help someone achieve their goals, that is matched to a PV number and a TV number. And that benefits you and your team. Now, one last thing that I want to kind of mention is, because I'm assuming a lot of you, when you go back into your office today, especially since it's Saturday, so we just got paid on Thursday. So when you wake up on Thursday mornings, well, if you go to bed on Wednesday night and you check your back office, you're gonna see your numbers be a lot higher, like for your volume. And then when you wake up in the morning, if you see those numbers drop low, that's a good thing, because when those numbers drop low, that means it turned to money. It means it turned into your paycheck. So with your team cycle bonuses, I'll never forget, I was on a call one time. It was a Star Diamond call, and they were talking about this. They were talking about team cycle bonus, and they were talking about this girl who was really struggling to understand what volume meant. And she said, oh, like she was almost bragging that her team cycle bonus, one of her left, it was like her strong leg was like in the millions, like super, super big, really, really high. And she was kind of boasting about it, which is great. However, if those numbers are sitting in your back office, that means it's money that's just sitting there that you haven't cashed out. So the one thing I want to leave you with is if you go into your back office and you see that you have a really big number on one of your sides, left or right, that needs to be your clue or your kind of red light that you need to start building your team on the opposite side of that leg. So if you go in and your right leg is a really big number and your left leg is like 18, the next 4 coaches, discount coaches or working coaches you need to sign up need to go onto the opposite leg of that big number, because that's going to allow you to cash that out. You want to keep those balanced. And if you have a really strong leg, it's going to naturally always stay larger, but that's a good thing. That means it's always money you can be grabbing at. Now, the only time I would suggest switching over and, keeping coaches on that bigger leg is if you're going to drop rank. Obviously you're not going to get any money if you go below emerald. So always keep yourself at that emerald. And if you find yourself capping out and hitting, if your team cycle bonuses when you're an emerald coach are going over 250, you need to get yourself to diamond, because you're throwing away money. And so watch those numbers, figure out how those numbers work. I'm going to give you an example of how I actually, and I'm really proud of this. When I started learning about team cycle bonus, I didn't understand. So I signed up my husband Zane as a discount coach when it was I think I was about 4 months into the business. I decided I wanted to work this business. I decided I wanted to be emerald. And so I signed him up so that I could get my energize and recover on his account. And what I didn't know was for the next year, I didn't know his account was actually building volume. And one day I logged in and I saw that his right leg, because he had a rock star upline, which myself, I was building a team and I didn't even know that I was giving him all these volume points. His right leg was at like 25,000 points. And I was like, what does that mean? And his other leg, his weak leg is what it's called, was like at 50. And I was like, hold on, how do I get this to cash out? So what I started doing was making sure that in my downline, I was putting coaches and business center, once I was able to get another business center, I was putting them so that they funneled through his weak leg. So when he had this one side of 25,000 and he had this other side that was fairly low, I then started filtering coaches and team volume through that low leg. And I will say, right now, we are totally cashed out. He now has even legs because I was able to cash out all that volume through building that business center. And the cool thing about it is when you go look at it, when you go dig in and look on yours, there's only learning from it. You can't look at your back office and be like, oh my gosh, I've lost all this money, because you haven't. Beachbody has kept it in this nice little savings account for you. What you can do now is just be proactive in how do I make sure that I cash that money out? How do I figure out if I'm just leaving money on the table? How do I make sure, what little change or tweak can I do so that I can pull that money into my bank account? So I'll leave this open to questions now, because I know that's a lot, but don't ever let a lot of information scare you away from just digging in. You just take one piece of it and you learn as you go.
Lauren, I am left wondering why most of the focus is on rank instead of volume, because so many of us start and one of the first things we learn is how to rank advance.
Right.
That's how we talk about moving our businesses forward. And although it matters, obviously it matters.
Right.
What matters more is team volume. And when you were showing those examples, the Ruby, making over $500 a week is insane. Most of my diamond coaches probably have never seen those numbers.
Right.
So
I think it's not talked about as much because because it's so like, I think rank is easy to talk to everyone across the board, but I think because everyone's team volume and volume looks so different. Like if you and I, you and I, we've been coaching about the same amount of time, maybe a year less, or I think you're a year behind. Um, but our volumes probably look so different. And I think it's one of those universal conversations is rank, where volume has to be so intentional for the one who's wanting it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I remember, so Shelby, she's not here today, but
Mm-hmm.
we have talked a lot about income because her goal is full time. She is the one on my team that I know for sure is like going full time really soon. So we've talked about income a lot.
Right.
And insane to us how different our incomes were when I was 1 star or
Right.
6 months past 2 star. But it's because I actually got those ranks way later
Right.
in my business than she did. So I
Right.
had a lot of time to build up my volume, and
Yep.
volume, I've always had strong volume, which has
Right.
impacted my business
Right.
a lot. So I love this conversation because it's not talked about, number one. And
Right.
number two, I have a ton of girls on my team whose goal is income.
Right.
This has to be our conversation over rank. Not, I mean, we know
Right.
matters, but we have
Absolutely.
to
Right.
build our income.
And what's interesting, and it's going to have to be, I think I'm even more excited. This is what I'm not even going to lie. When they made the announcement that preferred customer was getting pushed back, like preferred customer is going to change everything for us. And it's going to change everything for our volume, because we are going to be able to essentially sign up customers, treat them like customers, not have them get discount coach emails, and really honor where they are and what their relationship is with Beachbody. But that customer is going to be able to help our team cycle bonuses. So for anyone who's been fearful of signing up a discount coach or afraid, I'm one, I actually don't sign up discount coaches as often unless I'm pushing for a rank, because I want my coaches to not miss that window for success starters. And I'm always afraid if I sign up a discount coach, then they're going to miss it. And I'm so excited for preferred customer, because everyone I sign up will be a preferred customer, the same way I know all of you are going to be doing that too. And what's so amazing about that is when we sign up all those people with preferred customers, we're going to be watching our volume just climb. And so with that, it's so important that we understand how volume works, because by the time when the end of summer comes and preferred customer begins, you guys are going to watch your numbers really change, because your teams are going to grow in such, I feel like our teams are going to really widen out versus, also go deep, because so many people are going to be just expanding their downlines, because now preferred customers are going to be in your downline. And so we're going to see a big shift, I think, in team cycle bonuses, which is why we need to make sure that we understand which leg we're in charge of. And we also need to know if we're in charge of both of our legs, because if you're someone who's on this team and maybe your upline who brought you on this team has quit, that could have tucked you into a space of whoever your upline coach is right now. It might have tucked you into a space. So while I'm one of Lindsay Matway's PC, or why am I not? Is that right? PC? No, PS. Gosh, too many letters today. PCTV. While I am one of Lindsay Matway's PS coaches right now, because I've had a series of coaches quit above me, that hasn't changed my volume in the least bit. And I'm not even gonna lie, I was kind of hoping it would. I was like, oh, maybe I'll fall in and pull in some volume. Zilch. So that when you're in those dead legs, and it can be, sometimes you can get, like, you can't let it get to your mindset of what your volume looks like. You can't let it get into your head. You can only let it cause you to get to work. Like, I now know that I alternate. I have right now in my business center, all my working coaches go onto my right leg because I have controlled business centers on my left. So that will change though. So I always have to watch my numbers. If my numbers are dipping on one side, I'm like, ooh, I need to make sure I put a coach over here. We can be running for goals at the same time. Like, for example, when you're thinking about rank and volume and when you're thinking about money, it's kind of this ever flowing machine. There's times when your business, when rank is going to get you more money. So I'm going to use Megan as an example because Megan and I were having a conversation about this the other day with Zach's business center. Zach's business center produces a lot of income because you guys are all rock stars. And so volume floods through. But Zach's business center was at an emerald and he was losing volume because his emerald rank, you can only hit $250 a week. And he was missing out on volume that was then going, like some was dropping off to carryover volume, but he was missing a really big payout that he could have been getting. So right now, Megan's goal for that business center so that it earns the most money is for it to be diamond, because in diamond, you then earn $18 team cycle bonuses and your cap is $1,000 for team cycle bonus. And then, so she's in a situation where she's like, okay, for his account, rank is more important. But if you're sitting if your account is in a space where you're sitting there and you're like, okay, my team cycle bonuses are about $14. I'm every couple weeks, you might be hitting like an emerald $14 or $27 team cycle bonus. If that's happening to you, then you need to go look at your numbers and see where you need to balance them out, because you might be putting coaches into your strong leg and missing the opportunity to put a coach on your weak leg where you could be cashing out a little bit more. Because I'm sorry, $14 a team cycle bonus and a $58 team cycle bonus, like that's a water bill, So being intentional about and taking the ownership, asking questions, like we can't see in your downline, but you can also screenshot it and ask a coach who knows about it. So, it's this flowing thing. You need to be responsible to go look and ask. And if your coach or upline doesn't know the answer, drop it in the team page, drop it, like use the experience to help yourself the experience of other coaches to help yourself.
Amen to that. I have told you guys so many times, like, I am not the girl who knows all the things. I have my strengths for sure, but that is not one of them. And I am somebody who asks questions all the time. For whatever reason, when I get on and I start looking at volume and I start thinking about volume, my brain, I feel like it explodes. So I'm asking questions all the time to people who know more than me. I'm asking my corporate mentor to explain things to me because I want to know, because this business is legit, you guys. You can make such a great income with this business. Lauren and I were just talking about it last night because we were both teachers, and how insane that with this business, you can make a legit full-time income. But it really does start with understanding. You're not going to build a business and have an income, a full-time income, if you don't understand the inner workings of the business. That won't happen. So the faster you can learn, the better. I remember so clearly when I first started coaching, so I was teaching, and people were talking about discount coaches, talking about adding coaches, and my first thought was, if I add coaches, I know I don't make commission anymore. And I can remember that scaring me. Like, but I want to make commission. I need commission. Because at that point, commission was the biggest part of my paycheck. So it felt like I was losing out, but I didn't understand how volume works. And at this point, I can tell you, I'm so thankful that, number one, I had women who had gone before me who understood the business better than me. And number two, that I chose to trust them from the beginning before I ever really understood. Somebody said, it's a really wise decision at the beginning of your business to sign up your husband. They explained to me why. And guess what? I didn't understand. It went right over my head. But I was like, okay, They've gone before me. They understand this. I'm going to do it. You guys, even a year into Ethan being signed up as a coach, I still didn't understand because guess what? He was still making $0. But eventually, I began to grow his business. He had stored all of this volume from day one when I signed him up with me, and he began to make a very substantial income as well because of where I placed him, because of this volume talk. So if today went over your head and you're left with more questions than when you started, that's okay. That's where we all start. And your confusion is fine. But don't stop there. Keep moving forward. Keep taking action. Keep asking questions. Do the things that the women who have gone before you are telling you. When you see me, when you see Lauren, when you see Megan Seals, Courtney Harden, Courtney Lubering, those are all some women who have been doing this for so long. Elena Winch, Lisa Shaman. We've been around, okay? And I promise you, you will be so thankful looking back in a few years and you're like, I'm so glad that I just listened. I'm so glad that I trusted, because you'll look back and think, I didn't understand it quite then, but you'll realize how much it impacts your business and your income. So, Lauren, I feel like I have so much to think about and process. And I know this stuff, like I know basics, but I can't wait to dig into my back office. And even if you're like, I don't really know what that means, do it.
Yeah.
Do it and see if you can understand it. And if not, go on Fit for More today and post your numbers and
screenshot it. Ask. Yeah.
We'll have a conversation about it. And we'll figure this out, because one of my main goals for myself is income. And then my second big goal is helping you guys build your income, and this is how. So, Lauren, thank you so much. I am going to be asking you questions because they're going to start asking me questions.
That is perfectly fine. I love talking about it. So, and I never get tired talking about it.
Yes. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. I know it's a sacrifice. Take time this weekend, rest, unplug, be with your families, and come back Monday ready to get to work. See you guys.
Bye.